was like, bro, come on. Welcome to Intimate Masculinity. You guys know we're living in a time where men feel disconnected, misunderstood, and unsure of what's actually expected of them. All models of masculinity no longer work, and clear guidance for what comes next is hard to find. I'm Carlos Del Rio, and I'm joined by Dr. Carlos Marrero. We're mental health professionals having honest conversations about what it means to be a man in the age of information, artificial intelligence, and constant pressure to perform. This is a space for men who want depth, clarity, and emotional strength without losing their edge. For men who care about their health, their relationships, their leadership, and the legacy that they are building. Let's dive in. Dr. C, tell us about you, brother. Who are you? What's your background? It's a pleasure having you. It's a pleasure sharing space with you. Let's dive right in. Let's make these moves.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love that we created this space, not just for us, but for other men that can, that need it. I think it's very important for us to have real conversations and have these real conversations meet real leadership. The best part about this isn't surface level talk. This is about power and purpose and the systems that just shape how we live and how we lead and how we show up, not just for the people around us, but for ourselves. My name is Dr. Carlos Marrero. I'm an educator, I'm a clinician, I'm a strategist, I am an author, and my job and my role and my life purpose is to create space for people who think deeply, who move with intentionality, and aren't afraid of the challenge and the status quo. So I love this. I love this space that we're joining here, and we'll go ahead and start and dive into the conversation.
Let's dive right in. And a little bit about me as well. My name is Carlos Del Rio. I'm a corporate wellness strategist. I have a bachelor's in psychology, master's in applied behavior analysis. I've been in mental health for almost a decade, and I love this stuff. And I know that especially men, they need spaces like this. I know how important it is for us to get together and talk about what's real. There's a lot of surface level talk out there. There's a lot of just things that don't really support us, and we're here not to just talk about stuff, but also create opportunities for us to heal, grow, provide some tools, even if it comes in handy to help you guys get better and continue to grow. You know, we got together a few months ago, and we decided, we gotta get together and do a podcast. We gotta get together because we've been having these conversations behind the scenes for a while. We would just get together all the time and have these really deep conversations that we feel are incredibly healing, are incredibly empowering, and it would be a disservice. It would be disrespectful for us to keep those to ourselves. So we decided, you know what? We have a lot going on. I have a consulting practice. Dr. C has children. We're in different countries, all of that. But we thought it was important for us to make time for this because the world truly needs it. The topics that we're going to be diving in throughout this podcast are very fun. We're going to be talking about dating. We're going to be talking about what it means to be a man. We're going to be talking about isolation, which a lot of men are struggling with, depression. Honestly, we probably went down to suicide as well, alcoholism, and anything that you can really think about that is really bothering men. We're going to be diving into that. And honestly, I feel honored because this is the first episode that we're recording, and I just want to start off by saying that this week, actually, if to me it feels it's like a synchronicity. This week is a year since my dad passed away. And my dad passed away from alcoholism and depression. Like he literally drank himself to death. Like he would just work, drink, and that's about it. And I was actually sharing with Dr. Carlos right before the call started. I was crying this morning. Not a lie. We're gonna keep it 100 here. We're gonna be intimate. I was crying this morning, and I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do any work today. I just wanted to, stay in bed and not really do anything. But I understand that by me doing this, my dad gets to live through me. This is how I actually help him with his legacy. And most importantly, we're creating a space that my dad didn't have. And many men didn't have, and we want to save as many lives as possible, and that's what it takes. So we're here, and I'm more than excited to really open up this space and really dive into these topics that a lot of the time are not spoken about because most men kind of just hold things to themselves, and that's killing us slowly. We might not see it right away, but it's truly killing us slowly. First of all, I just want to say thank you to the Nadia C for being on here, always being down to share space. I'm curious, Dr. What topic are you most excited for
Actually,
as we open up this space?
actually, I think this is a great opportunity to talk about what you just spoke about, right? I think this is what this podcast is all about. It's about keeping it raw, right? Getting to the nitty-gritty and helping men heal from the bottom up. And I think what you just shared right now is a perfect example of that. It's something we don't talk about. We don't talk about our grief as men. We don't talk about those those things that we should be strong for, right? I feel like that's not something that we do. And this episode and all the episodes to come we're going to talk about real, raw things. Things that men don't get to talk about, that don't have a space to talk about. We're going to teach men how to be intimate and masculine at the same time. You don't have to be one or the other. You can be both. You can have a soft side to yourself and be able to embrace that without the fear of judgment or anything of that sort. And I think that's what we want to normalize here in this podcast is help you realize that we're here for you and we're going to help you grow and we're going to help you see what parts of you other people can't and also be able to identify how to let those people go when those moments come, right?
No, I love it. I love it. And it really is a journey. That's why I love that we're not just doing one episode, because we could have just done it, one time, sit down, but we understand that this is really a journey. This requires time to process. This requires tools to actually navigate. And we didn't want to rush this. Like this is really, it can be really heavy stuff. And if we don't give it the amount of the time and space that it requires, we can easily just rush through it or even worse, try to tackle it all at once. And when we do that, that's when you see people get overwhelmed. That's when we see man just have so many thoughts and ideas and feelings, and it doesn't create any healing. And we don't want to do that for you guys. We want to make sure that we're providing you guys with tools and showing you what it's possible for men when men are open to be intimate, when men are open to be vulnerable, be transparent. It's absolutely terrifying. It's really scary. It can be painful because sometimes you have to re-experience some pain that you had in the past. But one of the things that I'm all about is promoting independence, and I want to make sure that you guys can use us as a model to see what's possible. Because if we can do it, you can do it too. You can do it too. And
Yeah. And I think
uh,
honestly what's important too, I want to just point out is that we've been there and we are there. Um, as a man
mm,
myself, I've always struggled with wanting to embrace that soft side of myself, that creativity, right, without judgment. And I think we hear this a lot as men, right? When we're in the dating field or when when we're swiping left or swiping right, right? When we're on Facebook, Instagram, or you doing our lives, our shorts, how are we perceived to other people? And I think as men, we struggle with that. We struggle with being social emotionally intelligent without judgment, right? Call it what it is. What do people call us? We're soft, right? When we open up our hearts, when we're crying, what are the words and names that people call us? They call us, you know, all these types of negative
soft,
soft.
all this stuff. And honestly, I love that you bring that up because I'm not gonna lie. Like this morning, my girlfriend came. She was here for a little bit, and we were chopping it up and everything. In the back of my mind, I did not want to tell her, "Hey, I was crying this morning." I did not want to just share that with her. Uh, I thought about what you just shared and how important it is, for men to kind of let go of
Mm.
of that expectation of how we're going to perceive me, what are we going to think. Because people that really care about, they understand that when you open up and you share, that's the most powerful thing you can do. That's the bravest thing you can do. Like as a man, I do backflips on top of mountains, and it's way less scary. I'm not even exaggerating. You can check my heart rate than me actually being vulnerable and opening up. And I'm grateful that I did tell my girlfriend I was brave. I was a real one, and I shared with her, what was going through my mind, what I was experiencing, how I woke up feeling really heavy today, and all of that. And she was awesome. Like, she was great. I don't like it, but she did watch me cry. It's so good. And
You see how that's so uncomfortable for you as a man? Like
yeah,
you over here doing backflips off of mountains. I'm barely doing a skip over a crack on the street. And and like, it's just two different perspectives, two different worlds, but we still feel the same way, right? And it's funny because it was like Christmas and I was crying like a little emotional with my daughters. I was like, oh, it's Christmas, you guys are my gift. They're like, Daddy, why are you crying? Like, don't cry. Like, and it's just the automatic don't cry, right? As opposed to, give me a hug or let's get through this, right? And I feel like as men, like, and I, and we're saying as men because this is an intimate masculinity space, right? We're trying to teach men how to be intimate, right? And how to embrace those parts of themselves so they could be both. Excuse me. And I think that's really, really important, right? But yeah, like even that initial feeling, like what you just felt right there, that pause that we have automatically when we want to open up. We have to think two, three, four, five different times, right? Especially if you're a single man, right? You're single, you're stepping into a space, you want to hold that side of you, right? Immediately to avoid judgment. Sometimes it's even hard to get that to that first date. Sometimes you can't even get that text back. So of course you're gonna hold all these parts of ourselves, to get to the next level with someone else. But even that pause.
and that pause can be a couple of minutes. Like for me, this morning was like an hour. I was just thinking about it. I was like, should I say something? And I was just like, nah, it's fine, it's fine. And now I'm like, no, you should say something because you can't fake that energy, and like people can feel it even if you don't say anything. And I never want to carry energy with me that doesn't support a conversation. So it can be really hard to really step into that, but it's really so freeing as well. Like it really is so freeing to just be able to do that and allow yourself to feel whatever you're gonna feel, and also allow the other person to think whatever they want to think. It's a free world. They can think and say whatever they want to say. For my journey, I'm proud of my journey, and you know, I share my dad's passing in my book. Like it's not like it's private. It's like I'm open about my journey. I'm really I don't I think it's important for me to share. It's important for me to really model that behavior for other men,
Mm,
so that they can see what's possible. Because if you don't see it, you don't think it's even possible. You don't think that you can even do that. Especially when anytime that not anytime, but most times men cry, they tell you don't cry,
yeah.
stop crying. Like I've been told that so many times. And you got me thinking as well. Like I'm really grateful for my girlfriend because she's like, no, you cry, get it out. Like it's fine. Like you're good to go. She never told me once to like not do it, and I really appreciate that from her. And vice versa. Yesterday I was talking to my landlady actually, and she lost her son a month ago. 20 years old, super young, and she was like crying on my shoulder, like she was literally crying, like really just let her know how she was sharing how people were telling her as well, don't cry, stop crying, let him go, do that. And I just reiterated to her, if you feel it, like let it out. Like the worst thing we can do is like save it in, because then it creates this weight, this pressure, this heaviness that ultimately it's gonna come out. It's typically gonna come out at the worst times possible. Like it's gonna come out when you least suspect that you're gonna be waiting in line, or you're gonna be, it doesn't matter, or you're gonna be having a tough conversation with your friends or family, and you're gonna snap. then by then it's too late. By then it's too late. So it's important to be, you know, this is important for us to respond instead of reacting. And when we allow ourselves to feel those feelings, to grieve when we need to grieve, and slow down when we need to slow down, it creates that space for us to heal and feel what we need to feel. The only way through these feelings is through it. We can't go around them. We have to feel through it.
I think the big picture here is right is because most of us were never taught how to express what we feel. We were taught how to survive it, right? And especially as men, right? We learn to stay quiet. We push through. We handle it alone. Especially for leaders, especially for men, especially for people who carry responsibility, whether you're a woman or a man. But here's the truth. Emotions don't disappear when you ignore them. They just wait. They wait right there. And then they show up as stress, as burnout, as distance. Men love to embrace distance, right? Anger, silence. What do men do when we're stressed, when we're anxious, when we're overwhelmed? We work, right? Sometimes we just throw ourselves into work. Sometimes we catch ourselves saying, that's all we're good at, right? Silence happens and silence becomes heavy. Expressing emotions don't make you weak. And that's what we're trying to teach you in today's episode is that expressing your emotions don't make you weak. It makes you honest. It means you are paying attention to yourself instead of abandoning yourself. And I'm Puerto Rican, right? There's memes about Puerto Ricans under the hospital bed fixing it, right? We as Latino men, we are taught to work for our families and to continue to work. And when you stop, work again, right? And just keep working and stuff your emotions into your lunchbox and let's go, right? But what we're trying to do is reteach men that expressing your emotions don't make you weak. It just makes you honest. It means that it shows people that you're paying attention to yourself instead of abandoning yourself. And that right there, that's attractiveness on a different level. And that'll build attraction, right? So
100%. And you know, a lot of the time, men are scared. I think when we do start opening up about what the other person's going to think. And I just want to remind men that let them allow people to think what they want to think. If someone is not the best human and they are going to judge you because you're open up, because you're vulnerable, because you're intimate, that's on them. That's on them. You did your part by doing the hard part and actually, trusting them with your feelings, trusting them with what you're going through. And if they choose to judge you, if they choose to criticize you, they choose to call you names or whatever, or distance themselves from you, let them. That tells you everything you need to know about that person. And sometimes it's not because they hate you or because they're a bad person, but sometimes it's because they don't know what to do themselves. They don't know how to create that space for other people. They themselves don't know how to navigate those emotions. So they tend to kind of push away and create that distance themselves. If that's a fear of yours, of like, what are people going to think? What is going to happen? Best case scenario, you inspire another man to open up. Worst case scenario, they can think or say whatever they want to say about you. And sticking stones can break my bones at the end of the day.
and I think honestly, for myself, for a long time, I thought strength meant staying composed no matter what, staying quiet no matter what. That's what I thought strength was. But what I've learned, and I've had people tell me like, yo, don't say nothing, bro. Just chill out. Don't talk about it. Just be about it, right? But real strength is knowing how to say, I'm overwhelmed, I'm tired, that hurt me. I need space. I don't have it all figured out right now. Sorry, give me some time. That right there, that's not weakness. That's leadership. That's power. That's emotional intelligence. It's teaching people around you, like, yo, he knows what he's doing, but he also knows when he needs to take space and when he needs to step back. And that's what leadership looks like. And we want to teach you how to lead yourself, how to lead your emotional intelligence. And this is a perfect example of that. I've sat in boardrooms, I've sat in courtrooms, I've sat with families in crisis, and I learned something simple. People grow the most when they don't hide their emotions, right? And right now, Carlos is being mad vulnerable, telling it how it feels right now, right? And when he logs off of the Zoom, he's gonna feel 100 times better, right? Because he's not hiding how he feels to get through this podcast. He's expressing how he feels and he's learning from it without letting his emotions control him.
Exactly. And I could have easily, like I said, I own my own business. I could just be like, yo, Carlos, that's your schedule. Like, let's not do this. But I chose to really align with my values and my goals. Like it's really about that. I'm very clear what my values are, and I think it's important for me to step into that. And even when it feels uncomfortable, even when I don't want to, because a professional is at their best regardless. And personally, I understand how much power there is in seeing other men do what I just did because I've seen it, and it's empowered me. And I've had amazing mentors who are vulnerable, who are open, who are real. And that allowed me to see that's possible. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh, wait, if he can do it, I can do it too. And it's allowed me so much to really step into that and show out, honestly, show out, even when I don't want to, even when I don't, might not feel like it even when I might not feel like it. But as you guys can see, we're not playing any games. We really are excited for this conversation. We're going to be having this every week. We're going to be on here every weekend. We're very excited to have you guys jump on. We're going to be talking about everything that's happening around the world, the things that are happening, isolation, depression, everything that you can think of when it comes to men's health, men's mental health specifically, and we want to provide you guys with tools. We want to provide you guys with modeling, with the ability to see what's possible. And maybe a little bit of time when you're taking a lunch break to kind of unplug from the craziness that's around in the world, and an opportunity for you to tap into those emotions that you might not even know were there. So with that being said, we want to thank you for being here with us on Intimate Masculinity. These conversations exist because many men are carrying more than they know, and too often they carry it alone. If something resonated with you today, that matters. Take a moment to sit with what stood out and notice how it shows up in your life, your relationships, and your leadership. If this episode added value, subscribe, share with another man, and leave a review so these conversations can reach more people. We'll see you next week. Keep choosing awareness, keep choosing growth. We'll see you out here. Appreciate it. Anything else you want to share that you're seeing?
No. Before we wrap up, I just want to leave you with this. I'm echoing what Carlos is saying. Right? You don't have to carry everything alone. There's strength isn't silence, power isn't avoidance, and growth starts with honesty. Again, if something from today hit home, sit with it, talk about it, and come back because this is intimate masculinity. Death over noise and truth over silence. Thanks for being here.